Team at the movies is done. I should have said that's a wrap. But 5 weeks, 32,000 boxes of popcorn. That's a lot of popcorn. And what I'm excited about is this coming weekend, we're going to get to see a little bit, a snapshot of who did God bring and how long have they been coming and what is their spiritual history. I'll talk about the church-wide survey in just a minute. I don't want to miss the opportunity to look at you and say thanks. Outreach season is tough in some ways. You know, it's extra work. It's new people that are bringing new potential problems and new questions, and at the same time, sometimes we have older, not older in age, but people who've been around here a while who are like at the movies. It's amazing how the longer somebody journeys with Jesus and the less unchurched people they have in their life, sometimes they get a little grouchy at the movies. You know, like they need what they need out of church, and they'll get that. I mean, January and February and March and April and May, June, July, everything over the next 9 months as we try to take this group of people that we've really seen God bring to our church, many of which for the very first time, hopefully are going to begin to take steps on their journey. And so I just want to say thanks for leaning into the mission with us. And we've got one more weekend. This is the only weekend that Kyle, KJ Jackson was really available. I mean, he's got December off. They start Banana Ball in January. And so you're going to hear Kyle's story. And he has, I think, a pretty insightful spiritual journey that God took him on that ultimately led him to a place that you might be like, oh, it's not very spiritual. It's drama baseball stuff. And yet God's using the platform that KJ is on to help encourage people to think about their faith in some simple but practical ways. And there are going to be guests here who are coming just to see Kyle. And what they're going to hear is an extended version of a bit of his journey, not just into Banana Ball, but also how God kind of grew him through the whole process. And so I'm excited. I think God's going to use that to impact some spiritually restless people this weekend. And I was challenged by some of the things that Kyle shares in his own story. So I'm looking forward to that this weekend. So those are just some things that I don't want you to miss. And who knows who or what we're going to experience this coming weekend. The one thing that you are going to see at this weekend service is a survey, which we do at the end of At the Movies. We want people to rate the movies. We want people to give us some suggestions for next year. All of that feedback is really helpful. We'll also ask, how long have you been attending? And prior to attending Cedar Creek, how often did you attend church? This gives us a sense of who we're reaching, and are we reaching spiritually restless and unchurched people, which is really our mission. We're not trying to transfer people from other churches. We really want to reach those people who maybe used to go to church years ago, but for the past 3 or more years or prior to attending Cedar Creek did not really attend church anywhere. We're also going to be asking a different question that I just want you to have a heads up on. You know, it's easy to make assumptions about kind of the perspective that people have. So we are going to ask our church, so that we can better understand the people that we're trying to serve. We're going to ask them how they tend to view social and cultural issues, going from very conservative to very progressive, and different markers all the way in between. And I'm just curious. I think it's going to be helpful for us to go, hey, these are the people that call Cedar Creek home. And we'll also be able to segment it out to, new to Cedar Creek, been at Cedar Creek for a while. And if you prefer not to answer, you prefer not to answer. So I just wanted you to have a heads up. I'm going to be asking that question really out of a heart to better understand the people that we're called to serve. So if you hear that, don't be surprised by it. I don't think it's going to be too weird. But maybe for a few people, it would be like, that's different. They've never asked that question before. So That's what we have to look forward to. One thing that you can help us with, if you haven't done it already, is go through the assessment on your journey. Give us your feedback. We've really got another week or so to try to gather all of that for us. And so if you could take a few minutes to go through that process now. I know some of you are like, oh, but that 15 to 20 minutes, the feedback that you could give us out of that is actually, I think we're at the beginning stages of really trying to help our audience, our church, our dream team in particular, be given a resource that's going to help them accelerate or be intentional with their spiritual growth, especially next year. So any feedback that you have with that would be awesome. If you could take a little time to do that this week, I'd appreciate it. All right. Thankful for you, proud of you, excited for what God's doing in our church. Can't wait to see how he's going to use KJ and his story this weekend. And so let's be praying for that. I'll see you soon.